An incredible tale of a baby who wasn't supposed to live and a father who could have died. Molly Milligan has the story.
My dad was military until I was about 3.5, so I kind of was all over the place.
Emerson Solms was a military brat for the first 3 years of her life.
Pre-3.5, I lived in Maryland, D.C., Virginia, I think North Carolina briefly, but also Korea for the first year of my life. It was surrounded by rice paddies and it was very rural and remote, but he was stationed there.
When Emerson's mom was pregnant, the doctors had grim news.
Your daughter is going to have these long list of issues. Among them was spina bifida, so my spine was going to be outside of my back, and trisomy 18, which is a DNA genetic disorder that results in death, unfortunately.
She would have 2 toes on each foot, and she probably wouldn't leave the hospital. She was going to die in the hospital.
Emerson and her younger sister Phoebe are just a year apart. Both share a passion for rowing and study at Princeton University. Phoebe knows the story of Emerson's birth by heart.
In the first probably decade of my life, I heard it just over and over again because it was just such a miracle to them.
The doctor urged Emerson's mother to fly 4,550 miles to Honolulu for the birth.
The doctor had told my mom and dad when they packed up to leave Korea that they shouldn't pack baby clothes. They were not going to be bringing a child home. Then on September 11th at 4 something in the morning, she had meat, and the first thing my dad said was 10 toes, 10 toes. And so they had this baby. They had no baby clothes, no baby anything, because I wasn't supposed to leave the hospital.
Infant clothes weren't the only thing little Emerson needed.
I got my first passport when I was 6 days old. It's just a picture of a sleeping baby because I was asleep and they could not wake me up. So you see my dad's hand in the background of the picture of just a sleeping infant, swaddled in a white blanket.
Skip ahead 4 years. Emerson's dad was out of the service and working for a defense contractor in Texas.
My dad had a meeting scheduled at the Pentagon, and it was scheduled for my birthday. And his brother called him. His brother was also in the Army. And he said, "Hey man, this is the first birthday of your daughter since you've gotten out of the military. You can't not be there for that." I was in preschool and I got to pick out a book that was read that day, and your parents came in and it was a big deal when you got cookies. So he canceled his meeting and came and celebrated my birthday and watched me pick out my book. And that day, at that same time that he was supposed to have the meeting, a plane crashed into the Pentagon. It was September 11th, 2001.
A day of national tragedy turned out to be a day of good luck for the Solms family.
It's just crazy how things work out, because if that doctor in Korea back in 1997 had not misdiagnosed me with these slew of genetic disorders, my mom would not have been induced. I would not have been born on the 11th. But what we didn't realize is the greater gift was that 4 years down the road, I would accidentally save my dad.
Reporting from Princeton, New Jersey, this is Molly Milligan.